I would like to welcome everyone to this info session, and very shortly about the Info-Bionics Engineering Master Program. This slide, for example, here you might see very familiar names like Neuralink, maybe even asynchron or precision neuroscience you might have heard of, but definitely Neuralink if you follow the news in neural interfaces or anything related to Elon Musk, which is an important stepping stone in terms of the application and the widespread use of brain-computer interfaces. And if you are fond of following these trends and want to know more about, or even do research or do applied research in these areas, I think the Info-Bionics Master Program is an important stepping stone in that direction. On the next slide, we have another applied area, the Cybathlon race, basically, which is, I would call it a Formula One race for rehabilitation engineering and the application of different aspects of rehabilitation engineering, like arm prosthesis or assistance robots or brain-computer interface. And if you just check their homepage, you see that both the technology and both the pilot here, the rehabilitation subject is the pilot, basically, who's using the device. Is an important aspect of developing these tools, and you need both the development area and also the medical aspects of these devices. So on the next slide, we can see that the next slide, please. That the area in Info-Bionics that we are focusing on is basically the previous two generalized in terms of subjects like neurobiorobotics, the Cybathlon race and its applications, artificial prosthesis, and even modeling complex cellular processes to actually understand how the neural signal is processed. And if we move on in the next slide, maybe this slide will help a little bit to answer some of the questions, what backgrounds or prior studies are good for the Info-Bionics Master Program. If you think about it, if you want to do some neural engineering, basically, you might need a very thorough understanding of the neural system, so cellular biology and functional neurobiology, and also some engineering aspects, so mathematics, computer science. Of course, now computer science is a must in most areas, and also some engineering and electrical engineering aspects of these tools. Like you have to be able to program some ARM or some BCI software. So if we move on to the next slide, we can see that we have two focus areas in Info-Bionics Engineering, basically the two specializations that are directed to exactly the bionic interfaces, and this is in a broader understanding bionic interface. So it doesn't have to be a brain-computer invasive interface, like, for example, the Neuralink interface, but it can be like an eye movement tracker, and then an interactive machine that can drive a cursor and click on certain aspects. Or also in the gaming industry, it's gaining a lot of momentum in terms of any body-machine interface that will increase the gaming experience. But what we are trying to focus on is mostly rehabilitative areas. And also neural data science. If you think about any neuroscience research, we have a plethora of data that we have to process, be it images, be it 3D videos like fMR, or neural signals like an EEG is basically 64 channels, 20 kilohertz each channel. So we have gigabytes of data to process, and most of the time you need to process that real time. So these are also an important aspect, and here you can build machines to actually process that. Please move on to the next slide. Previously, my colleague Zoltán Gáspári has mentioned a lot of research groups that our university has, and also in collaboration with Semmelweis University, it can be expanded, but the focus areas in Info-Bionics focus, you can find it in Jedlik research laboratories at our webpage, and please go ahead and check which are the most closest or most interesting for you if you are thinking about joining our master programs. If we move on to the next slide, I try to collect some ideas, not extremely thorough, but some ideas where our students have gone or what are the possible outcomes. And we haven't even done a very thorough alumni research in terms of where our alumni students from outside of Europe, maybe they went back to their home country, or they went to Europe, or they went to the US. So there are many possibilities in these terms. If you understand devices in neuroscience, and if you can work with either a research group or a R&D development area in these terms, I think that both the research institutes, these are Hungarian research institutes listed there, or any university research laboratories. If you look at Hungarian higher education institutions, many with medical schools offer neuroscience and neuroscience-related research, so it doesn't only lock you into Budapest or lock you into one specific university. And also Info-Bionics covers the bionic area. And if you look at this from the company point of view, these are biotech or medtech companies, either small, medium, or large companies, national or international. Some are listed here. Most are Hungarian original, and some, as a last idea, some startups that we actually have very good collaboration. Some are actually our own startup companies. My colleagues started them. That are more into the biotech and medtech scene of the startup area, and they can be thought of as a continuation of, or the application of your knowledge, if you chose to accept and chose to apply for the Info-Bionics program. So in short, that's what I wanted to summarize in Info-Bionics. Either if you're interested in these areas, or maybe this presentation brought your attention to these areas, we are open to your application. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Ivan. And let's see if there are questions to answer concerning Info-Bionics engineering. Well, admission to PhD and admissions procedure will come later.
Yeah.
But if you have anything to add about it.
No, I have a short note on the PhD. All of the PhD programs have separate application procedure, so there is no straight line. If you have good grades, definitely you have a higher chance, but you need to go through the application process anyway you want to submit your applications. Pharmacy, I would like to say the same thing my colleague said, Zoltán Gáspári, that we should be able to look at your transcript of records. Info-Bionics, I tried to mention that it covers also mathematics, some aspects of computer science and electrical engineering, and also biology, biotechnology. So from a pharmacist, I would say it is not impossible, but there are areas that you have to do some extra studying, by my understanding.
Any more questions about the professional content? If you don't have questions right now, but you remember your questions later on, you can always email your questions to us. You will receive our email address at the end of this presentation. So even if there are no more questions right now, you can just send them to us later on, and we'll make sure that you get the appropriate answers. So I see no more questions. So I would say that thank you very much, Professor Ivan, for this presentation.
Thank you.
And we can now move on, and maybe later on we'll ask you to answer a couple of questions that come up later.
Okay.
Thank you very much.